Peabody here.
It's time for a new trip with Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
We must rewrite history in order to save the universe.
The classic cartoon from the 1950s and 60s is being brought to the modern age, exposing a new generation of kids to history's key figures.
Children are not the machines, Peabody. I tried to build one. It was creepy.
Modern Family star Ty Burrell lends his voice to the 3D film adaptation as the wealthy genius canine who adopts a human boy and raises him as his own. Together, the two travel through the past and visit key historical events, always being careful not to tamper with the timeline.
Modern Family. Did that help at all in preparation for this, or was this totally different for you?
A little bit. The one thing about Peabody that he doesn't do well is parent. So that I can relate to as a human being, and also that's something I do every day at work with Phil Dunphy. Otherwise, it was a very new experience. You know, I've certainly never played a genius. It was by far, you know, the biggest stretch of my career to play somebody that smart.
Was it nerve-wracking for you stepping into such a famous role like this one?
Yeah, definitely. You know, when we were first recording, I spent a lot of time going over the Bill Scott version. Bill Scott was the original voice of Mr. Peabody. I did feel an obligation to fans that there be at least a little bit of the original Mr. Peabody in there. I hope you can still hear it.
Excuse the position, just practicing my yoga.
Welcome to our happy home.
The overly curious Sherman is voiced by 10-year-old Max Charles in his first big screen leading role.
We were recording together, and our first scene was we had to start out yelling at each other and screaming at each other. So it's like right when they said cut, it's like, hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah. After meeting the nicest kid in the world, I began by just yelling at him. He's incredible, but being in the room with him in person, it's even more impressive.
Thanks.
And he's a natural.
Are you ready to get on the field, Shermanus?
Sure thing, Mr. Agamemnon.
Mr. Peabody and Sherman journeys to theaters on March 7th. Ken Lombardi, CBS News.